Hello, and welcome to the Flick Advisor. Today we're going to review Kong Skull Island. Kong Skull Island is starring Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, and Brie Larson. Now, Kong Skull Island is the latest adaptation of the classic story of King Kong, except this time around, Kong Skull Island is actually sort of a reboot prequel. It is not continuing the 2005 Peter Jackson King Kong, so it's rebooting that series, but it's also not your classic retelling of the King Kong story. In this film, King Kong is sort of like an adolescent. He's sort of like a teenager. So he's not the full-grown Kong that we've seen in other movies previously. One thing to note is that this film takes place in the same universe as 2014's Godzilla. So eventually there'll probably be a King Kong versus Godzilla. There's even a post-credit scene that pretty much says as much. So Kong is basically about a bunch of people going on a expedition onto this island that's never been explored before because it's surrounded by a perpetual storm system.
The place where myth and science meet.
We use explosives to shake the earth, helping us to map the surface of the island.
They know that something's up at the island. They know that there's something going on with big creatures, and they want to discover it. But they lure these other people there unknowingly for their own purposes. Here's what's good about the movie. Kong Skull Island starts off really, really quick. It seems like the movie's trying to make up for the problems of 2014's Godzilla. 2014's Godzilla's problem is Godzilla's barely on the screen and it takes about an hour for him to get to the screen. And Kong, when you see Kong, you see him. He's there, not as soon as the movie starts, but as soon as the action picks up.
Is that a monkey?
What the hell is that? Somebody talk to me, man. Turn right heading 250. Contact source.
When the action picks up, you get King Kong. And when King Kong is on screen, everything works really well. The action's top-notch, the special effects are top-notch. Seeing Kong do what Kong does, whether he's smashing helicopters, whether he's battling other giant monsters, all those things are really, really exciting.
Fox leader to Fox group, on the perimeter! Ready, gun in position!
Kill that thing! I'm freaking out!
Fox leader to Fox group, fire and kill!
Here's where the movie falls apart. And the movie falls apart relatively fast. The problem with the movie is all of the characters are just characters. There's nothing else special about them. There's no character development. They pretty much give you one thing about the character, and that character runs through the whole movie with that one trait. Tom Hiddleston, he's a leading man. I'm not saying that's what I'm not saying Tom Hiddleston is a leading man. I'm saying Tom Hiddleston plays a leading man in this movie. Anytime something is needed, Tom Hiddleston could just magically do it. He needs to get in a sword fight. He knows how to fence. He knows how to sword fight. He's basically the character who knows how to do everything to get everybody out of trouble. That's what Tom Hiddleston's character is. Sam Jackson is Sam Jackson playing Sam Jackson in the King Kong movie. And the funny part about it is Sam Jackson actually is the best actor in the movie. He's the best character in the movie. He's the character that they've actually given the most little backstory to.
You are going to tell me everything I don't know, or I'm going to blow your head off.
Monsters exist. Yesterday I was a crackpot. But today?
You dropped those charges to flush something out. Who are you?
So basically you just get these really bland characters. And I feel like this movie's trying to be the anti-Godzilla. And the fact that not only do you get Kong on screen really quick, but the other problem with Godzilla is this review is going to be more about Godzilla than it is about Kong. The other problem with Godzilla was the human aspect of it was played very, very heavy. But it's a Godzilla movie, so nobody really, really cares about the human aspect of it. But the human aspect was most of that movie. In this movie, they decided to try to fix that by having almost no character development, so you don't care about the characters almost, you don't care about them almost at all. This plan doesn't work because when people start dying, you don't really care. John C. Reilly is here to add a little bit of humor, add some levity to the situation, and he does a pretty good job in his role.
But the devils live below us. I call them skull crawlers. Why? Because it sounds neat.
Okay.
Look, I just made that name up. I'm trying to scare you.
I'm fine calling them that. Are you cool with it?
Yeah, that seems like
I
that
like
seems
the
like
name.
We're all gonna die together out here. You shouldn't have come here.
The problem with this movie, I feel, is it doesn't provide anything new. What this movie provides is somebody for Godzilla to fight in the future. There is a post-credits scene at the end of Kong Skull Island. It's not a big spoiler because there's nothing really too crazy in there. The post-credits scene is basically the survivors, because I'm not going to spoil that, being shown cave drawings and pictures of the other monsters that they believe exist in this universe. One of them was Godzilla, I believe one of them was Mothra, I'm not sure about the other ones. And then immediately after that, the screen cuts to black, and you hear that incredible Godzilla roar from 2014. There's really no characters to get behind. You just got King Kong, which I guess you're already behind because if you're going to see a King Kong movie, you went there to see King Kong. So they don't have to build that character up too much, even though he has a little bit of backstory as well, which is a good thing. And so him and the monsters that he fights, those scenes are really good. But aside from that, that's really all this movie has in store for you. For that, I have to give the movie probably a 6 out of 10. I don't feel like there's too much here. I feel like it's just something to provide you with an opponent for Godzilla later on. An opponent that's kind of like a Civil War type of situation where there's two creatures, two entities that both have big fan bases behind them. And so eventually there's going to be Team Godzilla, Team King Kong, and they've created a whole movie just to get to that point. So what are your favorite creature features? Are you a big fan of Godzilla? Are you a big fan of King Kong, Mothra, any of those type? I'm personally a bit of a Godzilla fan. I believe when Godzilla fights King Kong, whenever that is, Godzilla's going to mop the floor with him. I don't see it turning out any other way, realistically. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I have more reviews coming to you shortly. Thank you.